Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's go, Morris. Let's go, Morris. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go, Morris. Share this beam out. You're gonna want to share this out. You're gonna want to share this one out, Morris. Let's go. Listen. They don't want us to find out who we is. Oh, no. They don't want us to find out who we are? What? You think they want us to find out who we are? You think they want that? Nah, they don't want that. Listen. There's people out here. We're going to get straight to it. We're going to get straight to it. Peace and love to all you Moors out there, all you Muslims, all y'all Asiatics out there. Get that energy up. Share this beam out, because y'all know they shadow banning this page. We ain't wasting no time, though. It's up. Look, you got people that's out there that look like you and I. Copper complexion, dark complexion, tawny complexion. They got motives not to ever tell you who you really is. Why they want to not tell us that? Because they getting payoffs. They getting checks under the table. So if they really told us who we was, they'll stop getting paid. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. That might sound like strange or something. That might sound like somebody making something up. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about though in real time. Look, these people right here, they out here operating like parasites. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So instead of them being honest, telling us who we is, all through our history as Moors Americans all around the planet, they want to keep us over here, feeding us with disinformation, feeding us with propaganda, manipulation. They don't want us to be who we really is. Who are these people right here? Who are these people? Wait a minute. Who are these people? Can you see that right there? Let me zoom in. Look what that say. National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. See that? They use our own people to get the misinformation out, to sell us out. It's an age-old game. What does colored mean? These people been founded since 1909. Look at that. 1909. So you telling me all this time, y'all still ain't made no advancement? Watch this though. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Let's go. So all we do is we crack open the law books. Like this book right here. Henry Campbell's Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. All we do is crack this open. And then we get started. Let's go. Look at this. So you see this picture, right? Keep this image in your head. Keep this image in your head now. Hold up. Keep this image. Keep that image in your head now. Wait a minute. Let's go. Let's go ahead and turn up. Hold up. Let's go ahead and turn up. Look. Keep this image right here in your head. All right. Let me know where y'all Moors is tuning in from too, though. Look, 1909, they got started. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us that we're not Negro, black, or colored. See that? He said that for a real reason. So anybody out here talking trash about how we not Moors, pay attention. Because Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet, said in his literature and showed and proved with law how so-called colored people are never going to be nothing other than slaves and property. Indians, you're going to be a slave. If you want to misidentify as a person of color, you're going to put yourself in the jurisdiction of a slave, a POW. Show you what I'm talking about. Because you're going into something called a death trap. If you still misidentifying, you might have, great intentions and good intentions, but law don't work by that. Law don't work off your personal feelings or your personal intentions. If you either in law or you outlaw, period. So identifying as a so-called color person is a death trap. What the law say? A death trap is a structure or situation involving imminent risk of death or a place apparently safe, but actually very dangerous to life. You see how it says apparently safe? So this look like, yeah, it'll be a good thing. If you joined up with the NAACP and you said that you wanted advancement as a so-called color person. See, apparently on the surface, this look like something you want to slide in, right? Because you see, you got your own people in there, W.E. Du Bois. Hold up. You got your own people in there. So you looking at it like, nah, this gotta be a good thing. It gotta be a good thing because you got W.E.B. Du Bois, you got Ida B. Wells, you got her up in there. So, you know, they got our own people in there. So this must be a good thing, right? No, sir. That's why it's called a death trap. Watch this. Crack open this book, right? You go right here to the definition of colored. What does colored say? See that? How can you make an advancement as a so-called colored people? What does colored mean in law? Now you see, they got the law scale right there, right? See? They got the scale right there. Now, keep in mind, this is 1909. Check the timeline. Look, this is why you never call yourself a so-called color person. Ever. What it say? It say, colored, it has also been held that there is no legal technical signification to the phrase, quote unquote, colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That mean anybody out here misidentifying as a color person? If you out here misidentifying as a colored person still to this day, it don't matter if you feel like it don't affect you. It does affect you. It affects you and your children and our people. So you want to change something? Stop misidentifying yourself as a black person or a colored person. You hurting yourself. You hurting your children. You hurting your babies. You hurting your own people. But in your mind, see, we've been tricked and they didn't give us so much disinformation. They didn't give us so much false identity. They didn't give us so much propaganda and so much media manipulation that we have accepted a black spell. See, black is powerful. Black is a black spell. You see? So it is powerful. Black is a powerful thing. But see, we ain't get taught what black is when it comes to science. According to science, black means death. That's science. Let me show you something. You know why the so-called judges, you know why they really wear them black robes? Because people will tell you, no, black is beautiful and black is the essence of life. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Because you got parasites that are living off the host. Who are the hosts? The Moors. We the hosts for the whole planet. We are the hosts for the planet. But you have viruses. You have parasites. You got people that don't want to see us in the position where we're supposed to be, which is our rightful Moorish noble position. All throughout history. That's why the word Moor go all the way back to ancient times. And all these black and people of color, Indian, Native American, Pan-African, don't know where you came from with that. All that's fraud. Those are misnomers in law. Look, watch this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about in real time. Hold up. Where is that? Where is that? Let me find this book real quick for y'all so y'all can see this. Because I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see that if you misidentifying to this day as a so-called color person, what you doing is you putting yourself where the parasites could get you. The parasites could feed off you because you done put yourself in a place you ain't never supposed to have been at. That's a 14th Amendment federal citizen, a person, a resident. All these different bubbles that come off this right here in the center, this is the U.S. corporation. See, that's what see, if they get you here mentally, then they could get you and the parasites could feed off you. Here come the hyenas. Here come the vultures. Here come the wasp. Here come all the different little viruses that could get up inside you and then they could take you over because you done went for the bait. They done laid out a death trap. They said, hey, are you a U.S. citizen? And you agreed to that. Now they got you. Now they got you in their jurisdiction. Instead of you saying you a Moorish American, you honoring your mother and your father, your birthrights, they done pulled you into the death trap. Where is this book at? Here it is right here. From the book, Word Magic. Check this out. Word Magic. Watch this. So these people right here, we setting it up right now. They didn't already sold us out because they said that they're colored people. Now, I just showed you in Henry Campbell's Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Keep in mind, the man's name is Henry Campbell Black. That's his name. His name is not Black. His name is Henry Campbell Black. All right. This is his full name. So when they say Black, why would you want to study out of a book that's black? His name is not Black. His name is Henry Campbell Black. He's an M.A. He just brought out a book from ancient and modern jurisprudence. That's what the Black's Law Dictionary is all about. And it's the most popular book, law book used today. This book right here. All right. The 4th edition is less watered down. So if you ask me what law book should you get, they didn't jack the prices up, some retarded. But I would say this is your best bet if you want to dive into, if you want to deep dive with a complete book as far as ancient and modern jurisprudence. You want to get the Henry Campbell's Black's Law 4th edition. This is the most popular, widely used dictionary in the world right here. My shit is beat up and battered, but it's still good though. So when you go to this right here, when you go to something like this, it say, let us focus our attention back to the hidden roles of judges, so-called judges. Have you ever wondered why judges wear black robes? The black robe uniform is a symbol for representing a priest who works for the Jesuits or has a connection to the Jesuit order. The Vatican's private army. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The black robe uniform can also represent a worshiper of the ancient god Saturn. During ancient times, Saturn was associated with the god of law and justice. Today, many secretive societies still worship Saturn as the god of law and justice. Watch this though. This way get interesting. According to Jordan Maxwell, the symbol that was used in a religious context for Saturn was the square, and its symbolic color was black. This is one of the reasons that judges wear black robes. It is their way of showing respect to Saturn, the god of law and justice. Watch this though. Another reason is because they work for Satan, the god of the dead. In Legalese, the dead is made up of corporations, persons, and citizens. Persons and citizens. 14th Amendment. Do you see where I'm going? You see, we got to start studying word magic. You start studying words. So when you misidentify as a U.S. citizen, if you misidentify as a person without clarifying what kind of person, see, that's another trick. What kind of person are you? Are you a natural person or are you an artificial person? There's a difference. Are you a resident? Now, Slave Patrol, they might ask you, are you a resident of so-and-so, so-and-so? That's another finesse. All right. So look, the color of the color of the dead is black because it represents death. Yo, what? What? And these people out here screaming out, I'm black and I'm proud. The color of the dead is black because it represents death. This is why they wear the black robes. You see? This is just one of the reasons. This is just a couple of the reasons why these so-called judges wear the black robes in there. Why? Whether judges realize it or not, they are religious priests who are trained in the magic art of legalese to cast magic spells on people in a courtroom. Do you understand now why judges wear black robes? This is why they wearing the black robes, fam. They wearing the black robes because they're dealing with the dead. They're executing. That's why they bang the mallet 3 times. They all in there doing a ceremony. It's a ritual that they in there doing. So what the parasites do, like attorneys, they parasites. Show you what I mean about attorneys. They all working it together for the Jesuits, the Dark Order. This is what these people, but see, they use people that look like us. Copper complexion, brown complexion, tawny complexion, swarthy complexion. They can use anybody. Anybody that can be bribed or bought off. They gonna use them as parasites for the dark. Now watch this. Just like they use these people right here. W.E.B. Du Bois, supposed to be a so-called black man. And they use Ida B. Wells, supposed to be a so-called black woman. That founded the NAACP. Remember, when you misidentify as a colored person in law, what does it say? What does it say in law? Color, an appearance, a semblance, or simulacrum, as distinguished from that which is real. So when you say that you are a colored person, a so-called black man or black woman, what you are doing is you're making an adhesion contract with your words for your identity. See, this is why we got to start studying law and history. They're called adhesion contracts. So when you agree and you consent, whether it's expressive consent or it's implied consent, you consented. Therefore, you made an adhesion contract that they can now move on you. See? All they got to do is get you to consent to the parasites. Once the parasite gets you to consent, now they can put all kind of stuff on you. Licenses, registrations. They could put subjects to statutory law on you. They could put a birth certificate on you. They could put a social security number on you. They could put all kind of statutes on you. You want to stay away from this. Anything that got something to do with a license, anything that got something to do with registration, you want to stay away from that. And the only way to stay away from this is nationality, birthrights, and exercising the law, the Constitution, treaty law, supreme law of the land, the common law. Look, they don't want us to get like this. Nah, because they not like us. See, they not like us for real. They don't want us to remember this stuff right here. They don't want us to remember that. Look, I told you about attorneys, right? When I tell you about attorneys, hold up. Let's go. Attorneys, right? Look at this. Share this beam out. Attorneys. What's the bar? All attorneys owe their allegiance first to the crown in England, the House of Rothschild, then to the courts, then to the public, and lastly to their clients. Is it any wonder why your attorney never wins a case for you in court? The attorneys work for the court. They don't work for us. Do you see? The attorney is obligated to the courts and the public. Whenever his duties or her duties to their client conflict with those he owes as an officer of the court in the administration of justice, the former duties must yield to the latter. This is corpus juris secundum. 1980, section 1, section 4. All these people been lying, G. They all parasites. They all owe their allegiance to the crown. Look, attorneys are members of the bar. You remember that video that I got on my page that I'm cooking that attorney on there? And I told her ass work for the bar. We all know you got a bar card. They all lying. They all parasites. That's why she smirked it off when she was getting her ass in the pressure cooker, cremated. The American Bar Association is a branch of the Bar Council, the sole bar association in England. All laws in America today are the copyrighted property of a British company called the Crown. See that? All state codes are private, commercial, British-owned, quote-unquote, law. All attorneys follow instruction from England. Attorneys twist and overturn their clients in sync with the private law of bankruptcy. This is their job. See, that is their job. That is their pledge to those to whom they have pledged allegiance. By definition, the obligations and duties of attorneys extend to the court and to the quote-unquote public, the government before any mere client. Clients are wards of the court and therefore persons of unsound mind. You see, they're parasites. They all parasites, fam. But see, once the attorney, that's why the slave patrol, look how it operates. Slave patrol roll up. So-called police. They slave patrol. They're not peace officers. So you never call them an officer. An officer has an office. They were elected. Did you elect the police? Hell no. That's why you never call them an officer. See, this stuff right here is all dealing with law. Words. But see, these people, they're dark magicians. They black magicians. You see? That's why they use words like they use words. They use legalese to trap you up. You think that they talking to you in regular English. They're using legalese to backdoor you and trap you inside a jurisdiction called the 14th Amendment that don't apply to me and you as Moorish Americans. See, this is what they do. They parasites, fam. They vultures, they hyenas. They feed off the living. Look, let me show you what I mean. That's why when these people come up, slave patrol, when they come up to you and they start asking you all these questions, they're trying to establish jurisdiction. But see, you don't have to consensually have conversation with these people. Because keep in mind, if there's no victim on the scene, there's no crime. They have to have articulable, reasonable suspicion that you committed a crime. That means somebody on the scene got injured. If there ain't nobody on the scene that's injured, you got the right and the freedom to walk away at any time. They can't hold you there. They can't detain you and keep you there. They could try to hold you there, but if you stand on law, they can't do nothing with you. And you don't want to argue with these people because you already know they scary as hell. So you don't want to argue with these people back and forth. If you see that the conversation ain't going nowhere, all you got to do is say, am I free to go? Do you have any reasonable articulate suspicion of me committing a crime? Okay, you don't? I'm free to go then. All right. You don't put your life in danger with these people. All right. Because they are criminals. It's funny that the criminals are trying to lock up the innocent. How are the criminals locking up the innocent? You feel me? You got criminals locking up, harassing the innocent. Because if you have no victim on the scene, then you're not a criminal. See, that's called corpus delicti. Look, this is why we got to start getting into these books, fam. This is why we got to start getting into this literature. So we can start standing on law, not emotions. It's called the Common Law Handbook. I don't got time to make none of this up. Look, I don't have no time to make none of this up. Look, common law is common sense. The question each jurist must ask himself or herself, is there an injured party? There is a common law principle which states that for there to be a crime, there must first be a victim, corpus delicti. The state cannot be the injured party. So when they say stuff like it's the state of Illinois against whatever your name is, that's not constitutional. That's a fraud. In the absence of a victim, there can be no crime. This is what the grand jurist must discover. This is why you got to snatch up this book right here. Cheaper than a Tray 5. Get it right now. Order it offline. Amazon. $5 holler or some shit. Low key, like $5. Some slight. See? They can't touch us once you stand on law. That's why they don't want us to stand on this. It's over with now, though. It's over with now. Because now it's each one teach one. We showing books off. We read now. We spreading the information around. That's what they don't want. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that. Why would they want that for? Hold up. Let me see where this is at. Where is it at? Trying to find it. Where is it at? Let me see where this is. I can't even find it right now. I'll find it later. Look at this. So again, when they say stuff like, well, you need the slave patrol roll up, and they be like, if you can't afford an attorney, then one will be provided for you. Yeah, the attorney that we don't know worked for the Bar Association. So the Bar Association ain't on nothing but stripping us of our unalienable rights. That's what they about. That's all they about. They parasites, fam. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is what they do. Look. This is exactly what they do. Check it out. This is exactly what they do. They come through like straight vultures. Watch this.
Vultures circle in the soft light of the evening. Vultures circle in the soft light of the evening.
This
they descend en masse to the carcass of a young elephant.
They on the carcass, feeding off the dead.
The male lion is here too. But with the table crowded and his belly still working on this morning's meal, he's content to just watch and wait.
The vultures.
50 ravenous birds jostle for a position where they've ripped the carcass open. The boldest birds get first feed. The leopard-faced vulture is the largest vulture in Africa. Its strong hooked beak easily tears through tough hide, tendons, and cartilage.
And with that right there you looking at, that's just a representation of you or I or our people. We've been misidentifying because of the disinformation, because of the trolls, because of the traitors. We've been misidentifying because of the manipulation as so-called black people, not who we supposed to be identifying as Moors with a nationality. See that? So if they could trick us and continue to get us to consent to not identify with our birthright and our national name, which is Moor, and keep misidentifying because of the propaganda as so-called black people that belong to as a 14th Amendment federal citizen, property, registrations, licenses, using that, social security numbers and birth certificates under color of law, statutory law, which is not constitutional. None of that shit is. But if they can get us to agree to be in this kind of jurisdiction, then the parasites gonna have a field day. Oh, they gonna go crazy. This is how they live. The U.S. corporation is an abstract. It's not organic. We the people is the republic. This is organic. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Who are the people who have the consent? We the people. We have to consent for this right here to live. You get it? So if we don't consent for this, it won't live. This right here only lives because we the people continue to give it life. We continue to consent. That's why you don't consent to this no more. You don't have to registration. You don't got to get no registration. Whole time, look at this. When you register to vote, you letting the vultures get you. Because U.S. citizens are property that belong to the U.S. corporation. That's 14th Amendment. This is what the 14th Amendment was even created for. And the 15th Amendment. You could blame the NAACP to kick that off because they misidentified our people as colored people. You got to see it. See, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Look. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Yeah. You can't unsee it no more. See, once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why they called this organization. Let me give you another picture. Let me give you another one. Let me give you another one. You can see it better. That's why they called this organization National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Because they knew misidentifying as a colored person, that was going to place you automatically as a 14th Amendment slave. Property that belong to the U.S. corporation. You don't have rights. You have privileges that are granted by licenses and registrations. Because colored people are property. You might not think you are. You might think that I'm free. Shit, I ain't nobody property. Yeah, I advise you to reread the 13th Amendment again. Because if they charge you with a crime in the U.S. corporation, they can treat you any way they want to treat you. That's why people that be locked up, they get treated like in the worst kind of they get put into the worst kind of conditions. They ain't gotta feed them up in there. They ain't gotta have them picking cotton up in there. They can have them in jail doing anything. They put you in a hole. You in a hole for 24 hours. You might get out for an hour, maybe. But they don't have to, because now you agreed to be in the jurisdiction and you didn't know how to defend yourself in law. Because they violate us all the time. Look, slave patrol roll up. Whoop, whoop, roll up, pull you over on some bullshit. First thing they do is license and registration. Because they automatically assuming that you were in their jurisdiction. This is why the first thing they ask you for, license and registration. All those belong to the 14th Amendment federal citizen, artificial person, resident. Do you get it? See, they already knowing that they thinking like, oh, this person that I pulled over, they going to give me their license and they going to give me their registration. Because they automatically are assuming jurisdiction over you unless you revoke what they talking about. Unless you object to what they talking about. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to study law and be able to use law in real time. You ain't got time to grab a book and then look through some pages in real time. Shit happening. You ain't got time for that. That's why it's study, study, study. Because when you ready, the warrior gonna come out. So look, when police roll up on you, whoop, whoop, they looking at you like, you're 14th Amendment. I need your license and your registration right now. Then they but see, whole time, what we don't be knowing is this. United States Codes, Title 18, subsection 241. It's called conspiracy against rights. Now watch this. Let me know if this sound like Slave Patrol pulling you over. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. Two or more persons, they roll up on you, they conspire, they try to injure you, they pull you out the car, they threaten you, give me your license, give me your registration, I ain't gonna tell you no more. Don't that sound like intimidation? Huh? You see why knowing the law is crucial right now? Now just think, knowing this law right here, how much of this right now would you be able to use in real time? You see? See, this is not a conspiracy theory. None of these are conspiracy theories, but it is something in law called a conspiracy against rights, though. And this is what Slave Patrol do. This is how they get down. They get down using this right here all the time. They don't want us to be over here, knowing our nationality and birthright, being competent in law. They want us to stay dumb, deaf, and blind over here as so-called people of color. Just like the NAACP started it in 1909. Bing fucking bong. Yeah, it's your own people selling you out. I'm going to say that again. It's our own people that have sold us out. Our own people. Anybody that's continuing the lies, the cap of saying that we are colored people is selling you out. They capping. Big capping. They lying to you. They getting you to be somewhere in a jurisdiction that you're not even nationally supposed to be. Know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be over here as a 14th Amendment. Nothing. You ain't supposed to be over there. You supposed to be over here. You supposed to be over here. You supposed to be over here. Honoring your ancient foremothers and forefathers with knowledge. Navigating with the compass and the square. This has nothing to do with Freemasonry. See, that's another misnomer. The Freemasons took everything from the Moors. And then they don't honor their ancient foremother or forefather. That's why they call Freemasons. They doing their own thing. And that's why they can only ascend to a 33rd degree. Meanwhile, we can go to 360 degrees and even higher than that, 720 degrees. That's why the tassel swings 360 degrees. That's why it swings like that. Look, this is why the tassel that we wear on our crowns, just like the graduation hat that you get, the graduation cap that people get, this is a rendition of this. This is an ancient and modern headdress worn by the Moabites. This right here. So everybody that graduated grammar school, middle school, high school, college, etc., you're wearing a rendition of this. That's why it's a mortarboard. And this tassel right here swinging around is representing now you have ascended to another degree, another level. That's why you wear the graduation cap. That's why you wear a cap and gown. The origin of this is right here. This is why they don't talk about moral science. They want to bury moral science and tell you, nah, you ain't no more. So if you wasn't no more and Moors wasn't on nothing and Moors got conquered, then why do they still wear the graduation cap to this day when you graduate middle school, high school, college? Why do you still wear this then? If the Moors got conquered and they wasn't on shit, why are you still wearing the same thing that they created? You see? See, we've been lied to on a global scale about everything. Literally everything. Everything, fam. Everything, fam. Literally. Know what I'm saying? If the Moors wasn't on nothing, why are you still wearing a graduation cap with a tassel on there? Just like the fez. That's ancient and modern. Just think about it. Make it make sense. You see how they hide stuff right in plain. They hide things in plain sight all the time. This is the games that they play. They hide it in plain sight. You can snatch this book up right here. Go to my website, or you can snatch it up off Amazon. Go crazy. They hide things in plain sight because they don't think we're going to look at stuff that's right in front of us. But that shit over with now because we looking at everything now. We looking at why do the judges, so-called judges, why do the so-called judges wear the black robes? Because the color of the dead is black. Because it represents death. So when you go into a so-called courtroom, misidentifying as a so-called black person, you are now in the jurisdiction of the dead. So that so-called judge can adjudicate on you. That's why they tell you to rise. All rise. This is why this is why when the so-called magistrate wearing the black robe come up in the courtroom and the person yell out, all rise, because they're telling the dead to rise just to take more energy out you. Just like the vultures, just like the hyenas. This is what they do. Look, let me show you something real quick. You ever seen this before? You ever seen this? Hold up. Look at this. You ever seen this before? You ever seen a Venus flytrap before? It's the U.S. corporation. Watch this.
The Venus flytrap. Like the sundew, it makes itself very attractive, oozing nectar across the brim of each leaf.
U.S. corporation, NAACP, Pan-Africans.
But any visiting insect had better watch out for these 6 tiny hairs.
You call yourself a black person? You call yourself an Indian? You call yourself a Native American? You call yourself a Pan-African? You call yourself a person of color? That's the Venus flytrap. You call yourself a U.S. citizen, a federal citizen. You say you about to go register to vote. You say you need a license for a firearm, which is a violation of the Second Amendment. You say that you need to get a social security number. You say you need to get any of these things right here. You food for the Venus flytrap, for the parasites. You going in there consenting like this bug right here finna do. Watch this.
This fly has to tread carefully. If it strikes one hair,
Uh-oh.
It can carry on feeding, but a timer has been set.
Damn. A timer been set.
A second strike in less than 20 seconds, and the fly is doomed.
Doomed. Damn. Now you trapped.
An electrical impulse is triggered, and the leaf snaps shut in just a fraction of a second.
Damn.
The tips lock together like prison bars. If the fly is very big or very small, it may just manage to escape. But most are trapped.
You got out. You trapped, fam.
And die.
Over with. Look at that. Over with. See, nature, you can learn a lot about life. You can learn about a lot about law, history, by looking at the Nature Channel. If you looking at BBC One, the nature type channel time, you could see like, damn. If you fall for the death trap, if you fall to call yourself what these people been telling you for the longest without no remedy, these niggas out here talking about the national advancement of colored people. Let me ask y'all a question. What advancements have you seen for real with so-called people that identify as colors? Like everybody else around the world that claims to be from a land, they got a name that back it. They actually come to the Americas and they come up. Tell me I'm lying. Everybody else around the world, when they come over here to North America, they seem to come up. They get stipend money. They get houses. They get free health care. How the hell all these people from around the world, they all seem to come over here to get the American dream. And they come over here and they get a storefront. They get a loan from the bank. They get all this shit. And the people that's born here, ancestors are from here, they don't get nothing. They get harassed by the police, shot, dragged out their car, student loan debt, gotta pay for all kind of health care, taxed to death, food high as hell, gas prices high as fuck. But everybody else come over here, they open storefronts up and they selling merch out of there. They selling all type of shit out their storefront. They on the come up. And the whole time, they ain't just coming up. They send for their cousins now. And their cousins come here from around the world, right over here to our land, our homeland. And these people that come over here coming up, they ain't even Americans. They ain't Moorish Americans. But everybody around the world somehow come, they find out America, they got people over there calling themselves black people. They call themselves African Americans. So all we got to do is get a plane ticket, go over there, and we could get tax breaks. We could get a storefront. We could open a business up. And we could live off them people and become rich. Ain't that what they doing? Ain't that what they doing? And our people ain't figured it out. These people come over here from around the world. They get free houses, free shelter, they got all kind of EBT shit for the free and all that shit. But our people over here, we still struggling. You got the homeless situation. How the hell you got people coming from around the world over here to the Americas and now they got free housing? You know what they doing though? See, this is what they not telling the people that come over here as the so-called immigrants who ain't immigrants. They ain't telling them that when they come over here, they forfeit their nationality and they become 14th Amendment federal citizens. See, this is what they not telling them. The people that's coming over here. See, what they doing is they're creating another class of 14th Amendment citizens. That's why they allowed them people to come over here. I ain't talking about the people that's coming over here from the Americas, Central, South America. and the islands. I'm not talking about them because all these people are Moorish Americans. I'm talking about the people who are foreigners who come over here. See, if you ain't from born and raised Aboriginal and Indigenous blood birthright to the Americas, then by law, you ain't no American. You just come over here as a foreigner, a foreign national that lives and resides in the Americas. You ain't American. That's why the hybrid Europeans that's over here, they not Americans either. It don't matter how long they've been here. It don't matter how long a pale-skinned European has been in the Americas. They can never be American, ever, by definition, in law. It's called jus sanguinis. Not jus sole. Jus sanguinis means by blood, by heritage. Your inheritance is where you from. Where you was born at is where you from. That's your nationality. So it don't matter if a hybrid European come over here or they was born here. They still are in the jurisdiction and nationality of Europe. That's where they from. You got to stop calling them people white people. White is a political status that means the highest status on the land. It's not a skin complexion. Ain't nobody walking around the color of this paper. But see, when you call them people that, you calling them the king and the queen. I thought you was kings and queens. Why would you call a pale-skinned European a king in your land? Make it make sense. I thought you was kings and queens. Did you know that when you call these European hybrids, when you call them white people, you calling them your king and your queen? That's the power of word magic. I'm going to say that one more time. When you call a European pale-skinned person a white person, you're calling them your king and your queen. But I thought you was kings and queens. Make it make sense. Let's see if you still call them white people now. Let's see if you still call them white people now. Because every time you call them white people, you calling them your king and your queen. How can a foreigner in your land be your king or your queen? But that's what happens in law when you call pale-skinned Europeans white people. Are they your king and queen? Or you still want to stay in the death trap called the Venus flytrap? You still want to stay here? You still want to be in there? So you still want to be here, huh? You still want to be here?
The tips locked together like prison bars.
You still want to be there?
If the fly is very big or very small, it may just manage to escape. But most are trapped.
You still want to be there?
And die.
For the question that got put up, this is not Freemasonry, fam. This is moral science. This is the compass and a square. This is Masonry. It's not Freemasonry. Freemasonry is limited, is capped. All this right here is moral science. Like this flag right here. This is moral science. When you start studying moral science, it takes you out of the so-called black mentality and the Freemasonic mentality. See, this is disinformation and misinformation that we've been beating our heads with. So you'll see something like this, and you'll be like, oh, you got a Freemason ring on. Nah, this is honoring our ancient foremothers and forefathers, because this is isonomy. That's what this is about. Just like this right here. You're honoring your ancient foremothers and forefathers. Because how you going to navigate across the planet without a compass? How you going to know where you're going without a ruler? And that's what law stands for. Length, angle, and width. That's what the law stands for. Land, air, and water. Islam. Look, no different than if you see this right here. All this is all relative. It all goes together. This is Moorish science. This is why they don't want us to study Moorish science and find out who we are. They don't want us to study stuff like this. They want us to stay in the people of color mentality. The crescent and the star and the symbolic Madonna and child symbolize the widow and the son, the virgin and the child as mother and son. These symbols mean Luna, the moon, Gabriel, and Arste, Venus, Anael. The moon and Venus, the governors of fertility and foundation in woman and in the earth. The mundane circle, the Coptic cross, the Coptic or Celtic cross, the swastika, the circle 7, and the master seal all mean the zodiac and its inner relationship to earth. Woman and man. That's what's going on. That's what's going on when you see these signs and you see these symbols. That's what's really going on. That's why we got to get back here. We got to get back to this right here. Realizing that we're not in the new world. We in the old world. You feel me? We're not in the new world. And they play mind games with our people all the time. And they use our own people to play the games. Look, I'm finna move around. Look at this. What it say? It say, the Moor originally meant Westerner, not black, Negro, or colored. See that? The etymology of the word Moor can be traced to the Phoenician term Morin, meaning Westerners. The Semitic etymon Morium referred to people of the West. And let me show you something about these so-called Indian Lenape people. Let me show you this about the Lenapes. Lenape also means serpent, dragon, naga. Look at this though. If you read subsection 4 of the Delaware, what does it say? The Delaware law, it will tell you that the Lenape Indians were formerly known as Moors. The Lenape were Delaware Moors originally. However, the word Lenape means, quote unquote, we the people. Quote unquote, we the people. The preamble of the U.S. Constitution, or true people. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it say in the preamble, in the Constitution, don't it say that the Constitution was adopted? Huh? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Don't it say that in the book? It was adopted. So anybody out there talking about, oh, we're not Moors. Well, why were the Lenape Indians, why were they formerly known as Moors? And why does, just by chance, the word Lenape mean we the people? The preamble of the U.S. Constitution, which means the true people. Just a question. Just a question. Right. Just a question. What you think? The pale-skinned people wrote the Constitution? No, sir. Moors wrote the Constitution. These people adopted a form of the Constitution from Muslim law. So just to put a bow tie on this, you don't want to misidentify as a person of color ever again. You don't call pale-skinned Europeans white people, because once you do, you're calling a pale-skinned European your king and your queen. Why would you want to do that? Again, I thought you was the kings and queens. Why would you want to do that? Huh? Why would you want to do that for? So I hope y'all got something from this beam out. I'm finna move around. It's my solar return, but I had to blast off on something for y'all. Study, study, study. I'm gonna catch y'all more on the next one though. Alright? Much love to all y'all. Islam. Teach the babies.